Rivers may you cross, see mountains white and blue, but on your road, let's not forget the love I have for you.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Shadow of Mordor video walkthrough. This is the mission Climbing the Ranks, and it's going to be showing or showcasing some of the tensions that you can put between the different orc leaders, and this is the heart of the game. This is some of the most fun stuff, and there's a couple of other modes on this title that I'm really dying to try out that involve all this nemesis system a little bit more so than the game does, and I'm hoping that it's as fun as I think it's going to be, because I can lose hours just, you know, pissing off a war chief and going into his barracks and dismantling him and his captains. And if anybody tuned into my live stream the other day, that's pretty much what I was doing for most of it, getting myself into some really bad scrapes against very powerful war chiefs, which I ended up somehow coming out on top, but I did die quite a lot to do it, and I learned a hell of a lot about the game too. And if you're interested in checking my live streams out, there might be a couple more happening in the next 2 weeks. The best way to be notified is to add me on Twitter. I do try to put a Google Plus notification out on YouTube, but you never know if they're actually working, because Google Plus is a massive pile of dog shit, and unfortunately Google forces it down your throat like we're some kind of subservient sex slave, and there's nothing you can do. But Twitter's a good place to be notified. That and following me on my actual Twitch account, which is under a slightly different name, but people who are savvy should be able to spot the correlation, and I have faith that you'll not get too confused. But in this mission here, anyhow, we're preventing Ratbag's execution because we want him to be promoted and we want him to get into a position of power, so he's going to help us in the power struggle. That involves keeping him alive. These are my stats at this moment in time. You'll notice I've got 2, 3, 4 of the upgrades, and I've just got Ride the Caragor upgrade as well. So you might be wondering why I don't show that screen off more often. Well, every time you go into it and every time you come out of it, there's a loading screen, and the loading screen is about 15 seconds long, and I'm editing all that shit out, so it's one of those things. I can leave those fleeting seconds in, or I can just get rid of all of it, and to go in and trim those moments out in between is more time on my workflow, and unfortunately folks, I'm quite busy at this moment in time, so as much as I would love to show you my upgrade path through the game, it really doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be doing anything out of the ordinary as far as strategies go. There are a couple of specialised ones, but you're going to be able to do them just with me, because you get those abilities with the game. And I need to talk about this here. Normally when I'm doing flurries like this, I'm watching all the other orcs to see what they're doing so I can counterattack them. 2 times then, that guy with the spear did an A move, and I pressed A during the flurry, and it did nothing and I took damage. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's the same reason why when you press counterattack sometimes and it doesn't come out. Normally, as long as you're not in an animation of attacking, those moves should work, but every so often the game seems to drop your inputs. It does it with your attacks as well, and I noticed that when I was doing the critical hits, of only pressing it once to get the rhythm down, and it's just parts of polish that the Batman games do a lot better, and even those, you know, the people who made this combat, they have issues at times with certain detections, and the game does a decent job, but it's nowhere near as tight, and for most people you'll probably never notice, and that's a really good thing, because you don't look at it too deeply and you just kind of get on with it. But I've played all of the Arkham games, and I've played them at length on the hardest difficulties. I've done all the challenges. I am familiar with how they work. So when they don't work, and they should, it's glaring to me, and it's probably glaring to you as well, because I'm sure there's tons of people who feel it as well. So this has just turned into, I got him to green. Once again, I can't interrogate him because everybody's around him, so I'm just going to fuck them up instead. And there is a move on this game, and there are runes that enable you to terrorize and terrify the orcs, and when you do these certain kills or these certain maneuvers, there's a percentage of a chance that the orcs will run away. And I think I'm going to look into that on future playthroughs, so this walkthrough won't benefit from that knowledge, but I get the feeling that maybe that's the way to go, because the amount of times I kill somebody and there's millions of dudes around them, if you can upgrade or get a certain rune set up that terrifies everybody when you take someone out, it might allow you to then just go and kill the guy you came for, because most of the war chiefs and the captains don't really flee. from my experience. A couple of them can when you set them on fire or when you do certain criterias, but when it's just fighting, most of them stand the ground, and maybe you can use that to your advantage to get some easy kills. But thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.